Okay, welcome to the second of my updates on the COVID-19 support for businesses, and today I want to focus on self-employment. It is something I'm getting lots of questions about what the government is doing and why something hasn't been released as of yet. It is something which is extremely technically difficult for the government to do, and that is why it's taken a lot longer for it to come out than for PAY and employed people. It is something which is high on their priority list, and they are looking at it at the moment, and we expect a statement within the next few days about what support might be available, and that therefore might change your situation and what is the best course of action. But just to run through a few of the things that is available at the moment. The first one I want to talk about is tax and your tax bill currently. The government have said that if your tax bill is due currently for the two payments, that will be or can be deferred up until January 2021. There's nothing you need to do to get that. That is an automatic for everyone who has that tax bill due. There will be no charges, no late payments, and no interest accrued during that period. Now, I normally wouldn't say to use that money to help support you, because it is tax that is due, but these are fairly interesting times at the moment, and it may well give you a little bit more cash flow to see you through this short period of time. But do remember, it is something that you are going to have to replenish for January 2021. For those of you who have been severely affected, and I certainly have had conversations with a few sort of PTs, people like that, you are able to obtain universal credit. Now, I know that will not replace the income that you had, but it is something that if you are in the situation where you are struggling and things are not coming in, do look at universal credit. There has been some changes in universal credit to help support people applying for that, especially with the housing credit section, which will add additional funds into universal credit as well, and some of the universal credits have been fairly large in terms of the claims, up to about £1,500 that I've heard about. You've got to remember with universal credit, it is all tax-free. So when you're looking at the figures, you've got to remember that is money in your account, not you have to pay tax on that on top of that. So it is something to look at. It is something which is worthwhile applying for. To apply for that, what you need to do is go online and do it all online. It is purely remotely at the moment. Job centres are closed, and it can be done via the .gov.uk website. The other thing to mention here is the mortgage holidays. Banks offering a 3-month mortgage holiday for those of you who've got mortgages. If you are rented and in rented property, this does apply for buy-to-let mortgages. Now, it doesn't necessarily pass directly on to rented people, but it is worth speaking to your landlord to see whether they will apply that to you as well. Point I'm going to say here for any creditors is you must speak to people. People understand the situation that it is at the moment. People understand why there is this issue. It is something outside your control. So pick up the phone, have a chat with people if you are having trouble paying. Final thing I want to mention here, we are doing a drop-in, myself and 2 other advisors, for any questions you've got about the business support programs that are available, whether that be mainstream ones or not. That's happening on Thursday at 11 o'clock via Zoom. Link will be posted in my bio and also on the Blue Orchid website. Any questions, drop in, see whether we can help.